We have loved her work in shows like Glee and movies like Best in Show and The Ballad of Ricky Bobby and 40-Year-Old Virgin and movies like Wreck-It Ralph as well. Four-time Emmy Award winner, Golden Globe winner, and back once again with Hollywood Game Night on NBC. Another season debuts next Thursday, July 11th at 9 Eastern Time. Great to see Jane Lynch once again.
So good to see you, Rich.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you feeling now? How's the passion level?
You know what? It's funny. As soon as I went in my rant at the end of hour number one and I went back and saw you, I think, how would you describe me when I walked back into that green room, Jane?
It was almost like a grave injustice had been perpetrated upon humanity.
Yes, because my
and there was a sadness and there was a frustration and kind of a resignation, and I hugged you.
You did hug me, and I needed it.
You needed it.
I think you sensed I needed it.
Yes.
And you called yourself a palate cleanser. You're like, I'm going to come on out, and we're going to have a good time.
And I don't want to deny where you're at, though.
Okay, thank you.
Exactly where you are, and you know we can talk about the Knicks. We can talk about James.
No. You're from Chicago,
right? So I really don't care, but I'll pretend I care.
But you, as a Cubs fan, know that if the White Sox ever get the better of the town, it will be difficult to reverse that,
exactly,
right?
Yeah. And, you know, the Cubs are always on top, even when they were losing. And the White Sox won the World Series one year.
That's correct.
We still love our Cubbies. You know, I'm from the South Side. I should be a White Sox fan.
Right.
I am not. I am a Cubs fan through and through, diehard, although I couldn't tell you anything about the team right now because it doesn't interest me anymore because I live here.
Right.
But the whole idea and the mythos around the Cubs.
And Wrigley Field is...
The Boys of Summer. And Wrigley Field, of course.
As great a spot as you can. I mean, it looks. When I first walked into Wrigley Field, the first thing I thought of, for real, because I think of everything in terms of pop culture and whatever my favorite movies are. I thought of Blazing Saddles. Remember how they built the fake rock ridge?
Yes,
it's what it looked like. Like you could go and you could push the scenery over.
Yeah,
right.
I remember being a kid and walking up the spiral, the concrete steps, and then you get to where your seat is, and all of a sudden, this field appears before you, and it's stunning. But it almost feels like a painting, like a Hollywood flat.
Exactly. But if the White Sox ever got the better of the Cubs in a situation where the Cubs were patently horrible for 20 years, I'm kind of painting.
We pushed it. When I was growing up,
you pushed the envelope a little bit.
We were the lovable losers. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
I appreciate that you feel my passion.
I do feel your pain.
And you also, I can hear the Chicago accent in you a little bit.
You said
here.
that, and that kind of puts to rest about. Well, I mean, I thought that I was pretty neutral, but I'm not.
Well, just the way you just said the word "not."
Not. I'm not neutral.
That's true.
I can't help it. I'm from the South Side of Chicago. So
when I'm being from New York, all you need to do is just cut me off in traffic.
Yeah.
And it'll come out.
It comes out.
It does.
Yeah.
It's just a natural part of my world.
Yeah, it's like our primitive voice.
You just got to go right back to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Jane Lynch here on the Rich Eisen Show. So it's great to see Hollywood Game Night going to be back on the air here coming up.
And it's all summer long, and we're ostensibly at my summer home, so it's a whole different set, and we have a pool in the backyard. The pool, of course, is filled with, it's a ball pit, really. And we do a lot of games back there on the AstroTurf, and it's very summery, and everybody wears surf clothes. And kind of nice. I'm in a bikini the whole time.
That's
so
really...
you can look forward to that or not.
No, we call that a crowd pleaser, Jane. That's called a crowd pleaser.
Thank you.
That's called a crowd pleaser, for sure. So, and then we've got our next guest next hour. Matt Eisman's on the first one with Akbar. Joel McHale's on it as well. Lester Holt. Now,
Lester Holt is great and a lot more fun than you would think.
Yeah, because did he have the whole? Did he have
shot at Lester?
No. Excuse me. When you think of the guy who's telling you that the world is crumbling,
right.
He has a bit of a flat affect.
He does.
He does, and he's kind of in a very neutral, kind of passive place. But he lets go a little bit for Lester Holt.
Okay.
He's a Chicago boy, too, so we kind of bond on that.
Back in my stand-up days.
Oh.
How about that?
I did not know that you were a stand-up.
I did, back in college.
I'm not surprised.
One of my bits. I had a bit.
Did you?
Yeah. Very excuse me. I had more bits. You've never heard my bit.
No, this was before I was born.
Okay. Wow. Anyway, one of my bits was, and I'm sure many other comics did it, was the news anchor voice.
Yes.
Do they still have that when they come home for dinner and stuff like that?
Oh, that's hilarious. I'll bet it's never been done either. No,
like,
but go
hi,
ahead.
honey, I'm home. What's for dinner? You're like, that.
Yeah.
It worked in the 80s. It killed.
No, I'll
but
bet
that's
it
what
was
I'm thinking. Like again.
No, and it's true, and I bet those people do speak like that at home. I bet there's some truth to that.
Like Scott Hansen.
Scott, Bill Curtis is the king of that anchor voice. Like
Yes.
he's the
Bill
voice of
Curtis.
the anchor man and from Chicago.
Right,
Illinois
exactly.
as well.
Is he around still? Is he still doing
I think
specials and stuff?
Bill Curtis. I just always remember.
He was ABC News, Channel 7.
When I was in Chicago for Northwestern graduate school.
Ooh.
Yes.
78.
This is your life right now.
I
I'm
know.
revealing a lot to you, Jane Lynch.
I did not know that you went to Northwestern.
I did for a year in graduate school. I remember watching Bill Curtis.
Yeah.
And he always talked about when it got cold, they'd call it the Siberian Express is pulling into town. And he would always talk that way.
Yeah.
Bill Curtis.
Yeah.
Is he still alive? Is he still
Still
with us?
alive, 78 years
God
young.
Oh my
bless him.
goodness! Yeah, God bless him. He was an institution. Floyd Kalber and do you remember these guys?
I don't in
Yeah.
Chicago. No.
Yeah, you were there probably in the 80s, right?
Yeah, I was there in the 80s and the 90s. Yeah.
Carol Marine.
But Bill was still there.
Yeah.
Jane Lynch here on the Rich Eisen Show. We've got a whole bunch of start bench cuts
I like
to play
that
with you
game,
here.
yes.
So this is your.
creating a team.
Well, I mean, you've got the Hollywood game night.
Right.
So we're going to give you three choices. It's kind of like that marry you know what kill games. You
Yes.
you have to start one, bench one, cut one. It's our
Right.
version. Okay, hit it, Mike Del Tufo,
It's
please.
time. Start now. Bench.
Just sit down and be quiet.
Or cut.
Okay, we've got three for you here with
Okay.
Jane Lynch. Again, Hollywood game night back on the air next Thursday, July 11th at
July
9 Eastern Time. You are a two-time Emmy Award-winning host
Yes.
of this program.
Yes.
First one, start, bench, cut. Best game show host in the history of television.
Okay.
Bob Barker, Pat Sajak, Dick Clark. For those
you don't,
scoring
you
at
don't
home.
have my favorite up there.
Okay, you want to go off the board here?
I'm probably going to go off the board, but I'll wait.
to use that, by the way, that is a Joker's Wild phrase right
Oh,
there.
is
That's
it?
a game
Oh
show
my
phrase. If you want to go
gosh,
off
I'm
the
gonna
board.
go off the board. Okay.
but for the moment,
Bob Barker start, Pat Zajac bench, and Dick Clark cut.
wow.
I didn't think he was a great game show host.
No kidding.
And then I would have I
So
go
what
off
was your
the
best?
board.
Yes,
Gene Rayburn.
Gene.
Yeah.
Match
Of,
Game.
Match Game, which was one of my favorite things in the world to watch. With Charles Nelson
Nelson Riley.
Riley and Brett Summers. What else did she do other than get drunk on that game show?
By the way, very well done. I will geek out with you on this.
Yeah.
I will geek out with you on this because I'm a game show freak.
Are you?
I
Oh,
am. Oh
cool.
gosh. Yeah. Again, I'm revealing so
Yeah,
much.
really,
You know what?
I love Rich Eisen, and I love all that he's opened us up to in terms of what goes on in that head of his.
Thank you very much.
Sure,
Put
Jane
on this
Lynch.
world to
Reveal
give away
more.
cash and
Thank
prizes.
you. So no, I'm going to geek out here. I don't care.
Yeah.
What's the name of the show in the mug, right? Please,
Absolutely.
it's the show. So on the top, it would always used to be just like celebrity fill in the blank. That was like an omnibus spot on the
Yeah,
top
of course.
of
Behind
the
them all.
match game, right?
Yeah, right. Mhm.
Like on occasion, Tom Bosley might be there on one day, or the guy who played the guy who was in charge of Charlie's Angels. I forget his name right now. He used to be up there as well back in the 70s.
He played Bosley.
Bosley.
Yeah.
Bosley.
David Doyle.
David Doyle,
Yeah.
great pull right there, and a great imitation as well.
Oh, thank you.
And then it would be Brett Summers and Charles Nelson Riley
Right.
finishing up
And
the top.
Richard Dawson.
Richard Dawson would be on the bottom.
And they hated him, by the way. Yeah,
Are you serious?
They despised him, and they were so happy when he went to do Family Feud. They really, really.
He couldn't get rid of Richard Dawson
No, he
fast
wore
enough?
sunglasses the last 3 seasons because they all hated each
Was
other.
he still kissing people?
I'm sure.
Because that was
Probably.
weird.
He's not around anymore.
Richard Dawson was.
Did he pass?
Oh, yes, he did.
Yeah, yeah.
And by the way, he also his best game show hosting wasn't Family Feud.
on a movie.
It was The Running Man.
Yeah.
If you remember The Running Man with Arnold. You never saw that with Arnold
That you are
Schwarzenegger?
geeking out for
Oh,
sure.
my
No,
gosh.
I don't.
Well, I'm not done yet because Betty White always used to be in the
Right.
middle of
That's
the bottom,
right.
and then Fannie Flagg would
Oh,
be.
Fanny Flagg. Oh my God.
Yes.
Excellent.
So Gene Rayburn's your choice.
Yeah,
he had
was
that
great.
long microphone.
Yeah, the long microphone, and he was funny himself, and he really knew how to set those guys up and let them. He really knew how to allow the game to just explode into fun, and then come in and enforce the rules. And I try to do that myself on Hollywood Game Night.
Okay, that's very Rayburn-esque right there. But Bob Barker is the winner.
Oh, he's the winner, and what a great man he was too. Animal lover, and
I met him once.
oh, did you?
Yes, again,
Yeah.
sharing.
Yeah,
He's still with
please
us.
do.
He's
Tell-
still with
tell
us.
me
Bob
more.
Barker, yeah. So I met him once.
Oh, he's still with us.
Oh,
yeah.
God bless him.
him.
Yeah, yes, he could give away cash and prizes today if he
And
so
he was
chose.
so kind and gentle.
So I went up to him at this event for dog rescue, where he was getting an award. My wife and I are big dog rescue.
I know we
nuts.
share a vet.
We have the same
share a
vet,
vet, yeah.
Dr. Mahaney. God
Yes.
bless him too.
Bless Dr. Mahaney.
Yes.
We're blessing everyone today.
Oh my gosh. I'm trying to balance the void that I have in my life with James Dolan, Nick's owner. Okay? It's okay. Just bear with me. That's all I'm asking.
We're bearing.
Where was it? Oh, yeah. So here I'm with Bob Barker, and I went up to him, and I said to him, Bob, we've never met before. And sometimes I roll the dice. Maybe he's a sports fan. He does know me. He had no idea who the hell I was. But I went up to him, and I told him I'm the host of the NFL Network, which I just started doing. And I told him about how I get to speak to so many different people from different walks of life, Hall of Famers, rookies, kids from the city, kids from rural areas. And the way that he welcomes people to Contestants Row. Yeah. I told him that I learned from him on how to talk to people and how to treat everyone the same way. And I just want to say thank you, Bob Barker. He pauses and he looks at me and he says, "Do you want to hug it out?"
He did. That's so great.
And I'm like, yes. As a matter of fact, I do.
Yes.
And I hugged it out with Bob Barker.
Bob Barker. He said, "Hug it out."
He's
an
literally,
Entourage fan.
Quote, unquote. Do you want to hug it out?
What a great guy.
All right, next one for Start Bench Cut. We went down a little bit of a Bob Barker wormhole
we did,
as well.
and as well we should.
Okay, next one for Jane Lynch here. Which former co-star would make a great celebrity player on Hollywood Game Night? Okay. Christopher Guest from Best in Show, Steve Carell from 40-Year-Old Virgin, or Will Ferrell from Talladega Nights.
None of those guys would be on my show, number one.
All of them, right? None of them? Or
none of them.
Okay.
None of them
But you must start, you must bench, you must cut.
Okay, well, I would cut Christopher Guest for his own good, because he would be praying for me to cut him. Chris is cut.
He would want no part of it.
You're right. And I both Steve and Will, I would start. Do I have to do?
You could, yeah.
Okay, no, okay. I'm going to bench Steve, and I'm going to cut, and he'd probably thank me too.
Okay.
And I'm going to start Will.
Feller.
Yeah.
Okay. Because he'll just come out in like shorts or whatever.
Absolutely. He'd have a blast. In fact, he's the type of guy that maybe, even though he's a huge movie star, he might do my show. Maybe.
Okay, there you go. Will Ferrell, start that one.
There you go.
Next one, last one here for Jane Lynch. Which role was the biggest stretch for you to play?
Oh, okay.
Start, bench, cut.
Okay.
Here are the three choices. Sue Sylvester in Glee is a PE teacher. Research Dr. Kathy Wallen from The Fugitive.
Yeah.
Or FBI agent Russo in Collateral Damage with the aforementioned Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes. Now, are you saying that this is the hardest or the hardest?
Biggest
So maybe just
stretch. Biggest stretch for you to play.
Biggest stretch.
Start, bench, cut. So start would be the biggest stretch. Cut would be the easiest.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sue Sylvester cut was easy.
Okay.
Kathy Wallen bench.
Okay.
Agent Russo, because I had my neck broken in that thing. That would probably be start. That was the hardest to do. And also, you had to believe that I had my neck broken by a woman who was about 5'2", 97 pounds.
Who was that? Do we remember?
She was his co-star in this, and I don't think.
Who was the co-star?
She was Italian actress.
Was it a Maria? Was
Checking.
Could it be Maria Conchita Alonso? Could it be who is it?
I don't know. Do you know the problem with that movie
film.
is it came out right after 9/11, and it was about terrorism.
That's
so it had to be shelved.
Francesca Neri.
There we go. Yeah. Italian actress.
So it's very believable then that you made it believable in that regard.
Thank you so much. Yeah, because there's no way that I was like supposed to be an FBI trained person, and I allowed this little girl to jump on me and break my neck.
Right. How often do you hear about The Fugitive from people?
A lot. The Fugitive is one of those movies, as you probably know, that is timeless. It was a big hit when it came out, and people still go back and watch it. Like I'll hear people say, it came up on television, and I watched it all the way through.
Yes, it's for us here on this show.
Love that movie.
A flat-out remote drop. Literally, it's a remote drop. 5 minutes in, it's
done movie.
One-armed man is doing his thing, and the train crash hasn't even happened yet, and you're like, oh God, do I have 2 hours?
Same
look at the
director,
watch.
Andrew Davis, as Collateral Damage.
No kidding.
Same director. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Isn't that something?
How about that?
Yeah, that's how I got that job. Throw me a bone every now and again.
No. It's funny, the NBA draft this year took place in the same hotel as the big RDU 90 reveal finish. Just to show you again how much of a...
Wow. You do
fan
know this movie.
I do know this
Yeah,
movie.
wow.
Am I? Have I freaked you out?
Not
during
at
this
all.
interview?
I think I love you even more. I love somebody who's curious and well-rounded
Thank you.
and curious about all aspects of life, because I'm not at all. I like coffee. I like sitting at home by myself. They asked me before, would you rather be on an island with one person or by yourself? I'm like, totally by myself. Even if I like that person, I totally want
No
to
kidding.
just sit there and ponder my navel.
Well, it's funny that we have bonded over a love of, I guess, game shows, Fanny
But
Flag.
do you
and-
realize I only know a little bit
Bob
about
Barker?
everything just to get by in an interview like this? That much. Whereas you are
Smart.
like in a walking, not Wikipedia. You're more.
I am here's what I am.
Encyclopedia.
If you don't mind, I
Please,
don't mind.
please
I don't
describe
normally.
yourself.
I don't normally do this sort of thing.
Yes.
Describe myself. I am a font of useless information.
That's fantastic. I love that.
Literally have, through my years on the planet, have
Yeah.
unknowingly
Yeah.
sucked in all of this information.
Well, it is the era of the nerd now. We are exalting you people.
Thank you.
Whereas
Did I just get called a nerd? Did that just happen?
Hey, it's a badge of
Yeah,
honor.
nerds are in. Nerds are in. That's what she's trying to say.
Yeah.
Nerds are in.
Yeah, nerds are totally in now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Hollywood Game Night returns
Yes.
on NBC July 11th,
July
at
11th.
9 Eastern Time. Very pleased to have you on this
Oh,
program.
really good to see you again.
Thank you for coming on. As you know, I'm a huge
And don't
fan
deny
of,
your pain about today.
You know what? I'm
it work through.
I'm facing it, and I am going to get through it. And you
and
help
then
me
let
get
it go. And then let it go.
You sure?
Face the new reality. And don't ever step foot in Madison Square Garden.
I don't think I'm going to be allowed to.
Probably not.
As a matter of fact, I don't think I'm going to be allowed to. NBC, again, home of Hollywood Game Night, July 11th at 9 Eastern Time. Jane Lynch, at Jane Marie Lynch on Twitter, and at Jane Lynch Official on Instagram.
Indeed.
Thank you for coming on.
Next time I wear pants. I didn't realize my legs would
Are
show.
these? I thought these were like capri
They're
type.
gaucho-y. But had I known I'd be full, I probably would have worn full pants.
Gaucho-y is now my new favorite word that I did not know that existed. Now I'm going to take that in.
Yes.
And in about 15 years from now, I'm going to spit it out.
You'll be a font of information, and you'll know the history of gauchos. And
By the way, just like Bob Barker, you asked me if I needed a hug and
Yeah.
hug it out, and I said
Wanna hug
yes.
it out?
See, that's what Emmy Award game show hosts do.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.